Thank you all for joining me today. I'm here and I would like to first of all, thank all of the new subscribers as well as the paid subscribers. And I made some talking points today so I can stay on point. So, some of the new changes I've made on the publication includes updated color schemes to match my existing website. Okay, I've also added a feedback form on the navigation screen. I've added weekly rhythms, which I'm only going to have Monday through Friday, so I can give people a break on Saturday and Sunday. I have also incorporated a monthly theme. That way my content is much more structured and people can follow along much easier. I have also modified the 3 pillars to correspond with vision, agility, and mastery. Each of these pillars will be discussed each month to correspond with the monthly theme. Okay? So, what I would like to talk about is before I started Substack, I had started an online radio station which I had called Impact Radio. I had put about $10,000 total in this online radio station with Live 365. The whole point was to be able to have music and talk radio combined. And so I had put all this money into it, and then I decided to start Substack. So Substack is free. So after putting all this money into it, getting everything, also getting people involved with helping me to run the station, I decided to let it go. Okay. Decided to let it go and to put my money and resources into Substack instead. And honestly, I'm glad that I let that radio station go because there was no guarantee that I was going to be successful with it, especially since Substack is free. Okay. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is because now we have Apple Podcast, and Apple Podcast is available to creators. You pay a one-time fee of $19 and you can have your own podcast in Apple Podcast. Okay. You get your content in front of other content creators. Okay. And so basically the same content that we are creating on Substack with the lives, whether I'm with someone or not, I can also take that content, put it on Apple Podcasts, have people to listen to it as well, whether they're at work, driving to work, or whatever. So we're not putting extra effort into delivering the same content. Okay. As we know, when we either do a live video or we do a blog, okay, we can take these shareables that are given to us by Substack, whether it's on Facebook, Twitter, IG, and we can take that same information and put it out to all those other sources as well, which I would highly recommend. Okay, because I attached my YouTube to Substack, and right now, with no effort at all, I have 26 subscribers on YouTube. Okay. So, the same information that I'm already, creating is also being put out now on YouTube where I got 26 subscribers. Okay. Now the same information that I'm doing with all these lives is going to be on Apple Podcasts, which is going to be able to put it out to other people as well. So through the Apple Podcast, people can subscribe to your newsletter. So even more reason to increase our visibility on the same thing we're already doing. Okay. So this RSS feed, Substack will enable us to use Apple Podcasts, RSS feeds, and Substack. So we need to increase our reach and our impact by what we're already using, the tools that we already have available to us. Okay, RSS feed extension, okay, is available through Chrome. That way we can also get involved with, see what other RSS feeds are out there that we might be interested in getting their information as well. So, the other thing I wanted to talk about is that I have a custom domain. Okay. I would recommend having a custom domain because it reaches back to my website. I have a separate website where people can come, prospective clients can come and see all of my material. Nan Tran, who works with me, he makes sure that all of my content, whether it's blogs or whether it's lives, whatever, all that content is automatically uploaded to my website as well. So when readers are looking for information about you, they'll be able to see all of these things online where I am. Okay. I'm on Google. If you make sure you put all the SEO information in for each article, each video, your stuff is going to also be prevalent on Google. You'll be on, I have a page also, personal page and a business page on Facebook. Put the information there. I have like 1,600 followers on my business page. Okay. You have a lot of coaches. You have a lot of people selling their products and services. The more people we get in front of, the more opportunity that we have for people to find us and to buy our products and services. So looking out for these things is really, really important. Now, I have my own business. I have an LLC, which I've had since 2017. Okay. With that, I registered with the Duns and Bradstreet. I have a Duns number where I can utilize that number with Apple, give them that information, and it makes it easier for me to get my app in the App Store. When I had my radio station up, I also was on the Google Store. I was also in TuneIn, and you also have Spotify. You have all these other services that are available to us. Once you get into one, you can get into all of the others. So the more places you can get your content, the better. There's also this site I see a lot of content creators using, Buy Me a Coffee. Okay, Buy Me a Coffee is a free site. I would recommend everyone sign up for that. You can put a button on your publication, ask people to donate, to buy you coffee, $10, $5, all this money. It comes a long way. You just have no idea how people are willing to give to you, but you got to be willing to put yourself out there and ask. If you don't, then how are people going to contribute to you? They can't. So I also have a following on LinkedIn, like 14,000 people. I've been nurturing and cultivating this community for a while now. Okay. I consider many of these are warm leads. Okay. Because you're building trust. You're putting your content out there. People need to know and understand who you are. So, realizing that, I said, okay, well, doing lives with other people is great. You get a chance to see similarities and contrast in material and things like that. but people want to see you specifically. We have to come from behind the computer. We have to come from behind the shadows and show people who we are. Okay. And I've noticed that since I've been much more active on notes and since I've been more active on doing these collaborations with other people and putting myself out there, I'm getting more followers, more subscribers, paid and free as a result. So we must do the hard work and we must keep putting ourselves out there and showing people who we are and what we have to offer. Because that's the only way that we are going to be successful as solopreneurs. Because there are a lot of people out there doing the same thing that we are doing. So, what sets us apart from others that are doing the same thing? Okay. So, with all of these things being said, one of the dilemmas that I'm faced with right now is like Microsoft and Google Workspace, for example. I grew up, well, all my life I've been using Microsoft products, and that's what I prefer. Even though I'm an Apple user, I use Microsoft 365. However, I'm forced to use Google because I use Google Chrome. I have to use I use Gmail, okay? But that's really basically about it. So, like with this feedback form, anonymous feedback form that I put out there, Nan Tran said, "Hey, Google Sheets." I don't know how to use Google Sheets and Google none of that stuff. I'm not even interested in using it. So, because I have both right now, okay? With Microsoft, I pay $69 an annual fee. That's it. Now Google Workspace wants $17 a month. Okay, $17 a month, and that's a lot of money. So I'm like, why do I need Google? Okay, why do I need it? I just don't understand. So I'm gonna have to figure out if I can utilize Microsoft 365 to do everything I want to do. I'm doing it now. So there it is. Um, as far as the RSS feed, I would highly recommend that because when we think about how people learn through auditory, through visual learning, or kinesthetic. Okay, so I would prefer to get my content out in many ways as I possibly can. Okay. So, with that being said, sometimes you have an article, you may decide to read that article. Okay. If you decide to read it, then you read it. Then those that want to listen, they can listen. Those that prefer to read it, they can do so. That way you give people varied ways of listening to your material. Okay. Also taking in consideration, some people can't see. Okay? They can't see it. So if they can hear it, then they can still get the information that you're providing. So, okay, how many different ways can I give people the same information? And that's what we have to always look at and try and while we're doing that, we're increasing our impact and we're also increasing our reach. Okay, this other thing too, where, sometimes, traveling overseas, people want to be able to read or listen to things in their own native language. Okay, having the opportunity to, for to have the information translated to Spanish or French or whatever. It also increases our opportunity to get our message out to other people. So it's always good to be thinking about these things and be forward thinking. And another thing is that notes, for example, I use notes as a way of testing things out. Test it out in notes before you can necessarily test it out in your group. Because I'm finding, a lot of people are shy and they don't necessarily want to give information when you're asking people for it. Sometimes you put out a survey, people may not maybe want to give you any feedback. So try getting feedback from people in notes. People are very, 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 very helpful. And I'm finding that out. And the more we open up to people and show people who we are, the more people are willing to also be helpful and to reciprocate as well. For a person that's an introvert like me, I'm telling you all these things is because the more we get outside of ourselves, the more we can see ourselves grow personally and professionally and with our business as well. So trying things I feel uncomfortable because that's maybe the things that we're supposed to be doing, we're supposed to be trying. And how else are we going to know if things are going to work unless we try it and see? Okay. I'll try something out in notes. Okay. Maybe I want to see what people's thoughts is on sexuality or whatever. I'm just using it as an example. Okay. So if I see that nobody's responding, I'm like, maybe that's not a good thing to talk about. Okay, maybe I might put something else out. You just have to try different things to see, because if you don't get feedback from one way, you have to see how you can get it in other ways. And so with that also being said, I like going to different people's lives and looking at what other people are doing. That helps to give me ideas on what I can do. Okay, I went to Gen XY, one of their lives, and Lawrence was reading a story, and people were listening, and I said that is a wonderful idea. That's a wonderful idea, and that podcast episode, I'm sure, got a lot of views, and that's something that you can also upload into Apple Podcasts. Right now, I see that Substack is associating everything with Apple, but I'm pretty sure they're going to open up things as far as with Google Store and everything else, because it's to everyone's advantage. So, does anyone have any questions? Oh, am I making any live videos for listening later? Um, yes, I know I have one on Wednesday with Heather, and we're going to be talking about human design and NLP. And I loved having these conversations. I also have people reach out to me to do lives, but not really. Um, I'm usually the one that's reaching out to other people to do lives. So if anybody's interested in doing a collaboration, I would be interested. You can contact me and we can sit down and have a conversation and see where you want to go with that. So I definitely love that because it gives us an opportunity to get in front of different audiences, and that's very important because, as we know in psychology, people, like they said, people have to see you out there at least 7 times before they even consider buying your products or services, or even considering just subscribing to your newsletter. Okay. I can't tell you how many people I have communicated with in notes. Okay. It might take them months before they decide to even subscribe. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they decide just to follow instead. Okay? But what we do is we stand in our truth, be who we are, and those who wants to follow us will follow us, and those who don't won't. We have to keep it moving. But one thing for sure, we can never put all of our eggs in one basket, because if for some reason, heaven forbid, Substack go down today, what are we going to do? That's why I keep my website up and running. Okay. That's why I have all my stuff uploaded on my website. And even then, if the website go down, I still have a backup. We have to have a backup to the backup, because stuff go down. Okay. And we have to protect ourselves. We put a lot of money, time, and energy into what we're creating. And so this is evergreen. So if I died today, okay, everything that I have written up to this point is out there and the world can see it. Okay. And so we are making history every day. And so what does that look like for you as we talk about legacy and succession this month? A lot of people don't want to talk about that, but the time to talk about it is when you are doing well. Okay, because you can make better decisions from that place. Okay, rather than making decisions from a place where I'm sick and I'm on my deathbed, and I don't want to make decisions there. Okay, so I want to make decisions when I'm in a place of harmony and peace. And that will, from there I can make some really fantastic decisions about all aspects of life. Okay, so do you guys have any other questions or anything for me? Um, that you would like to ask? What are you guys' thoughts about Microsoft versus Google? I assume all you guys are using Google. What are you guys using? Also, I was looking at a video. I think it was Iva. She was talking to a coach, and I know a lot of people here are introverts, and they don't want to be seen on. Excuse me for a minute. I'm sorry for that. A lot of people don't want to be seen on camera. Where you can stage your stuff in all kinds of ways. Okay, you don't necessarily have to be seen on camera. That's why I'm telling you about the Apple Podcast. You can do an audio in in the nude. Who would know? I'm just using it as an example. Okay, not that you would do that. I'm just saying, who would know? And you can put that audio out there and people get so much value from that. Okay, so don't we have to get over these type of things. Okay, we're fearful of that. I was terrified for being on camera. Now you can't keep me off camera. Okay, I'm just saying we have to crawl before we walk. Okay, if you have a poem, for example, you can write that poem and put it on Substack, but you can also use your voice. Speak your voice with that. Put it on the podcast. Okay, like I'm going to be making sure to do something weekly. Okay, and it's going to go on Apple Podcasts, and every week I'm going to do a live whether I'm with someone or not. Okay, because I see the possibility of that YouTube growing. Okay, if more information that I put out there and people see me, they're gonna like, oh yeah, they're gonna be looking for more. And YouTube is all about clicks. Okay, so we get a click here. Okay, okay. For example, I put that article out. I that article that I wrote about the legacy, whatever, about the leadership. I got 3 likes on that article, and I spent time and time and time on that article. Okay, and I'm like, okay, because I go back and look at the statistics. Okay, and I was like, okay, this one did this, and this one did this, and this one. Well, why did this one only get this, and why this only got that? I look at that and I take a step back because I don't want to be putting crap out there. Okay, I want to put stuff out there that people's going to really enjoy and get a lot of information from. Otherwise, why am I doing this? I could go back and work in engineering with the engineers. Okay, but I choose not to do that anyway. So we can't always look at likes, and I understand that. But I took that really personal, okay? Because I'm like, I only got 3 likes. What happened? This one I got 25. What happened? What happened? What'd I do? But we can't please everybody. And I know that topic is something that nobody wants to really face, talking about death. But it is what it is. And I like to address things that I like to address the elephant in the room, because that's how we learn. That's how we grow. We can't continue to run from shit. Okay. We can't run from it. We have to face it. We can't again, we have to go through stuff. We can't go under it. We can't go around it. We can't go over it. Go through it. That's how we learn valuable lessons. And I talked about that, and people probably got a lot out of it, because I know I did when I was thinking about all these things. Okay. I don't just put something out there. I give it a lot of thought. Okay. So the thing of it is, we have to face things. Okay. That's the only way we can go through it. Okay, I'm telling you, I done ran from a lot of stuff, but I had to come back and face it. And so it's better to face it the first time than having to come back and face it the second or third time. Because then you're like, damn, if I had did this the first time, I wouldn't be going through this. Okay, that's what I'm telling you. Do it. If you want to put out that meditation, put it out there. Keep practicing. Okay, keep practicing, keep putting it out there, and people will show up for you because you're showing up. People are very, very amenable when they see that you're trying and you're putting forth an effort. People will support you just because of that. Trust and believe that. Okay. I go out there and I'll see somebody, they doing a live and there's only one person. I'll sit in and join with them. You know what I'm saying? Because people, it's important for us to hold space for people and to be there for them, because we want the same thing. Okay, we definitely want the same thing. And so I try to be mindful of that. So do you all have any questions, or any concerns, or any recommendations? I'm glad to hear it. Okay, because from doing these lives, okay, I'm going to be able to do much more um YouTube videos, which is just going to put me out there. Okay, get me the clicks. It's not about the clicks, it's about helping people, really. But it does feel good to know, that I'm making a difference. That's the reason why I'm doing this. Otherwise, again, I can go sit down somewhere, because now I can, because hey, I'm gonna get my Social Security starting next month. I'll have my pension. Okay, everything is starting to click. And it's like, yes. So this is why I want to dig in and do as much as I can here. Okay. So every time I try something new, I modify it. Okay. Just like my weekly rhythms. Okay, I modified that from last week. I was like, well, I could do this better. I can do this better. But if we don't try things, we cannot make changes. Okay, we have to keep trying things and see what works best for us. Okay. Now I've had to become. I've had to become a contracting expert. Okay, that's over with. I had to become a writer. Okay, fine. I am also a certified coach. Now I'm having to learn how to be a marketer. I'm going to have to learn email marketing. I'm going to have to learn a lot of things. And so I'm pacing myself. Okay? Because I can't do everything at one time. And so, with that being said, with this publication, and now that I have more paid subscribers and free subscribers, okay, what am I going to give the free subscribers? What am I going to give the paid subscribers? Okay, I have to make it worth the free subscribers while, and I have to also make it worthwhile to the paid subscribers to make sure they stay. Okay, so that was the whole point. So I am going to continue to add things to the program along the way as I feel things out. Okay. Because we are learning and growing together. And that's what we have to do in life. Okay. Learn and grow together through trial and error. We throw something against the wall and we'll see if it works or not. If it doesn't, oh well. Okay. What lesson did I learn from that? What can I do differently? And that's what we do with everything that we do until we figure it out. That's what we do. Okay. All right. I hear you on running from it instead of trying. It is so intimidating and changes so fast. I don't regret not diving in completely 4 years ago. I started self, but I'm not sure. Author Suzanne, That's why I'm saying the time to start is right now. Okay? Start right now. Just making small little steps. Okay? And then and just build on that. You don't have to you don't have to have it all figured out. Just one step at a time. That's what I did. Okay? I didn't get here by all at one time. Okay? I had a lot of help too along the way, a lot of encouragement. Okay? It we evolve over time. Just give yourself space and time. Take one step at a time. Okay, that's it. And I'm here, and I've helped. I've helped some content creators here, and you can get in contact with me, and I'll help you. And sometimes you just need somebody to be there, just to hold your hand and say, "Hey, I got you." I got these pom poms, and I'm gonna be your biggest cheerleader. You got this. If I can do it, I know you can. Okay, there's no doubt about it. Each and every one of you have a talent and have a special skill, and we want to find a way to help you to use that, okay, to make a difference in this world. That's why we all are here, okay? Each and every one of us, okay? It's real simple. We just make it harder than what it is by putting so much pressure on ourselves. And it's just one step. That's all. One step. What can you do today? One step you can do today to make a difference. Okay? That's it. That's all. You know, if somebody talking you in your ear and all that, just shut that down. You know what I'm saying? Because that noise you don't need. It's not contributing to anything that you're trying to do. Shut it out. Okay? You got this. Trust and believe. You didn't come this far by chance. Okay? You got something within you that brought you this far. So what you have already have these tools. Each and every one of you have these tools already in you. So what can I do to help you to bring that out? That's my role here. Okay? Let me help you. Okay? Let me help you to figure out what that is. Okay? That's why I'm here. And each and every one of you, we put our resource together. There's nothing that we cannot achieve. Nothing. Okay? I'm here to tell you today. But we have to start today. Start with something today. Okay? Whatever that may be. Okay? If it's the name of your publication, something, what is it that you want to do today? That's it. It's real simple. And then from that thing that you create today, you build upon it and just say, okay, what can I do today to further that goal that I came up with? Okay. Rome was not built in a day. The world was not built in a day. I don't know if it's going to be, it's probably, I don't know, but let's do what we can do today. Tomorrow is going to take care of itself. Okay. I'm here to tell you. Worrying is a lack of faith, and it does nothing. It does nothing to help you, but it's a big distraction. Okay. So talk to me. What you guys got to say? What you got to say? If you ready to go live, whatever it is you ready to do, contact me. We'll figure it out together. Okay. You don't have to have all the answers. And that's the good thing about being in this big world that we live in. Okay. There's other people. You'd be surprised. Even a kid can teach you something. Okay. You're like, oh, wow. Where'd you get that from? The innocence of a child. So if a child can teach you something, anybody can teach us something. We just have to open our mouths and ask for help. Okay. If I need some help with something, trust and believe Nicole. I'm like, hey, Nicole, I need some help with so and so and so and so. Can you help me, sister? I don't have no problem open my mouth. Okay. None whatsoever. The only dumb question is the one you don't ask. That's the only one. Okay. Everybody has something valuable to provide and something to give. What do you have to give? Okay. So that's the other thing, you have to be willing to be ready to give when it's time. You can't be ready to have your hand out. You know what I'm saying? So collaborating, everyone should consider it because they increase knowledge, audience growth, and engagement. Absolutely. Absolutely, Maurice. I remember talking to you, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, we can collaborate. Long as we're not talking about politics or religion, I'll talk to you. I will definitely collaborate. Those two places I don't go, but because that takes my vibration and my energy down, and that's why I don't watch TV. Okay, I don't have time for the nonsense. Okay, somebody trying to manipulate my mind. I don't need that. Okay. Yeah, Veta, thank you so much. Anybody have any comments or any concerns? I am here for you. That's why I do these live now, so I can also give you information that you can use, as well as to see how I can learn and grow my publication. Okay, that's why I ask for feedback. Okay, and people, uh, I ask for feedback because I've gotten feedback my whole life. Okay, a whole lot of negativity, which I didn't need. Okay, and which I did get rid of. But in order for us to grow as entrepreneurs, we need to understand where our blind spots are, where our weaknesses are, how we can get those, okay, and we can leverage ourselves always because we have constantly have to transition and change because things are moving at such a rapid pace in the world. And I just can't tell you. I can't keep up. Um what happened to your investment monies in the online station, by the way? Did you recoup the funds and apply it to Substack? I didn't make any money. That's the thing. When you start a business, okay, you're starting at a risk. I put that money up and thinking that I was going to get a return on my investment. Okay. That's why we have to really do our due diligence up front. Did I do an analysis of the market to see what the viability of that situation was? No. And if I had, if I probably would have came up with the conclusion that it takes a long time to build an online radio station. Okay. A lot. Whereas Substack already have these things built in where you have the notes and you have these capacities. You have to build the radio station is completely, totally different thing, a different animal. And not realizing all that up front when I got into it, you know. But nevertheless, the experience that I gained from that is priceless. Okay. I took all the things that I learned from there and came over to Substack and say, okay, I'm going to do this instead. So since I already had gotten the apps already from the app store, so I knew that process and I knew that it made sense for me to get the podcast in Apple store. The more places that I get my content into, the better it's going to be for me and the people that I serve. Okay? Certain demographic is going to be on Substack, certain demographic going to be on Facebook, certain different demographic going to be on TikTok, whichever platforms that that resonates with you, combine it with Substack. It makes sense. Okay? When people talking about growth on Substack is low, it's going down. Okay, well maybe it's higher on Facebook. Cause I watched this one coach, she got to be paying for ads. I'm telling you, she got to be making bank. She's always on Facebook. I'm like, she knows something. She knows something I don't know. But that's what I'm saying. Once you figure out who you are and what you want, and you got your message down pat, can't nobody touch you. Okay, you on fire. You be on fire everywhere. Okay, don't just limit yourself in one place. Okay, that way when you get a chance, maybe you can get 3 or 4 payments ahead on your mortgage. Okay, and then you take that money and invest it in something else. We got to be smart. Okay, we got to be smart. Never put all your eggs in one basket. Flat out. So no, I didn't recoup anything. Okay, I didn't. Like I said, I invested that money, that $10,000, and it was lost. Whatever. I just look at the value lesson I learned from it and moved on. Okay, how can I do better on Substack? Okay, I'll stay ahead of the game by seeing what everybody else is doing and seeing how I can make things work for me. I'm not competing with anybody or anything like that. I'm just getting ideas. Well, what can I do? With the skills, my skill set and the things that I feel comfortable with and my values. Everything that I do, I make sure it's in alignment with my values. If it's not, then I'm not going to be doing it, period. Okay. And so when we make a lot of mistakes with businesses, I can't tell you how many famous people went bankrupt 2 or 3 times with businesses before they figure out really what they want to do and then become really successful after that. Okay. That's why I like reading autobiographies. That's why I like looking at history because you learn a lot of valuable lessons on things. Oh, okay, he did that. Oh, he did that. He did that. And it didn't work. Okay. When you see certain things, patterns, you look at it, even in the political scape, everything, it tells you things. Okay. Like, well, I don't think I'm going to do that. Okay. That's what I love about history. I didn't like history before. Now I understand it. It makes a lot of sense. Okay. If you repeat the same thing over and over again, you're going to get the same results. Okay. Most times. Okay. So don't do that. Okay. Save yourself some time, money, and energy. So, okay. That was money really well spent. It is what it is. Because if I ever decide to open another online radio station, I'm ahead of the game because I know what I need to do. Okay. So there it is. There it is. We have to look at every failure as a win. Really. Because we tried. At least we tried. We didn't sit there on our hands and didn't do nothing. Okay. I I would feel worse rather if I just sat there and did nothing and the world just passed me by. Because that's what's happening. If we sit there doing nothing, sitting there idly, and think that that it's just going to drop out of the sky to us because we are special or something like that, it don't work that way. You got to put in the work if you want to get the rewards. Okay, do the work. Am I going to be successful? Who knows? But damn sure if you don't try, you're not going to be. And that's where we are today. Okay? What steps are you wanting to take today to to ensure your success tomorrow? Is it going to be hard? Hell yeah, it's going to be hard as hell. Are you going to cry? You're going to have sleepless nights. You're going to go through some things, okay? But we have to go through things in order to become the person we were meant to be. And that's where I am today, okay? A lot of shit I went through was hard as hell, okay? And some of it I would never go through again if I got a chance. Like, hell no, I ain't going through that again. But was it worth it in the end? Yes, it was. It was because I got valuable lessons that I'll take with me to the grave, okay? And those things are priceless. Really, they are. I wouldn't trade them for the world. So, do you guys have any other questions or concerns or comments? I'm here for you to help you learn and grow as well. We're learning and growing this stuff together. Okay. I worked in the federal government 39 years. Construction, contracting. I know nothing about running a newsletter. I know nothing about running a business. But what I do know is my energy. I have my values. I know about systems and how to make things work. And I know how to work with people. So I can make anything work. If you put in the effort, you can make something work because you figure things out along the way and you You figure out how to make things work best for you. Okay? We have all those people out there, all those experts, we have Veronica, we have Claudia Faith, we have Anna, we have all of these amazing content creators out there. They were like us one day, starting from scratch, and they will all tell you. And they just kept working at their craft each and every day. They never gave it up. And if we do the same thing, we'll be up there as well. Okay? We just got to do the work. We just have to do the work. That's all. That's it. So I want to thank each and every one of you today for joining. And if you have any questions or anything, you know how to get in contact with me. Okay, I'm here for you. Okay, uh, I will give pro bono sessions. I am a certified coach, and I do have coaching uh sessions available for people who are interested, who are in need of that. Okay. But I do give out, like I said, pro bono sessions for people to help you figure things out. And from there, we'll figure it out together. Okay. And again, I want to thank all the paid subscribers. I want to thank all the new subscribers. And I also want to thank all the followers as well. Each and every one of you are important to me and very valuable. Okay. And again, I'm here for you. And thank you all for showing up. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I love Substack. Okay. You all enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you.